Hey guys, in this video I want to talk about how to find clients internationally and all around the world and enabling you to work remotely from essentially anywhere you want as long as you have a computer and internet connection. Now, this has been one of the key moments and discoveries which I made during the first freelance years and because I really struggled one with the mindset, but also with the tools on how to actually find clients internationally. Because reality is, I come from a small city where there isn't a lot of design culture or even a design need, and this really made me question if I could actually do design work while being in my city, or if I absolutely have to relocate to maybe like a big city like London, where I lived for many years, or any other big city, because this was just something which wasn't possible. And I can tell you guys now that I've been working remotely for almost 4 years and with clients from all around the world, so it's definitely something which is absolutely possible. And once you get the basic knowledge of how to find clients, also you kind of delete some of the wrong mindset which a lot of people have, especially when first starting out. You can definitely find clients from all around the world, and you don't even have to be like the best, the top 1% in your field in order to do that. You can definitely make a really good living, even if you're just good. So that being said, the very first thing which I want to communicate during this video is really starting out with the mindset, because that's super important. Now, if you're a designer, if you're a web designer, or even a web developer, or illustrator, or graphic designer, or anything in between, really, you have so many possible clients that you can reach out to, that you're never going to run out of clients. Because if you're not restricted to one specific location, such as your city and your surrounding areas, you can literally reach out to anywhere in the world. And there's tons of businesses that need your services. There's tons of individuals and professionals that need your services. So this is definitely something that you want to keep in mind, especially if you're in a field like web design. You're never going to run out of clients. You need 100 lives, and you'd still manage to find like even more clients there. You're never going to run out of clients. That's the very first thing that I want to communicate, because opportunity is vast, and the opportunity, there's just so much abundance. And the really key thing that I want to communicate is the fact that you shouldn't find and search for clients only in places where everybody is. So most designers, maybe they go on job postings on AngelList or on Dribble, and they look for a full-time design position, and or at least that was something which I used to do at first, and I literally thought that all of the remote job opportunities were those. And if I couldn't make it in and find one of those jobs in those places, it was essentially over. But that's a really bad mindset, meaning that you can actually reach out yourself to companies in all sorts of places. Now, one of my favorite type of websites that I use to reach out to companies is essentially startup directories and company directories. Depending on the type of company that I want to reach out to, there are going to be some directories which are going to have a lot of targeted companies that I want to reach out to. So, for example, if you're looking for startups, and say that you're in the tech niche, which is huge, by the way, you might want to go on sites like AngelList. and literally find out what companies could be your ideal clients. And by ideal clients, I really want you to think through what type of companies you can deliver the most value to, and what type of companies are going to be more attracted to your services. Because of course, there's going to be some differences and some key elements which you have to consider. So for example, if you go on AngelList, probably asking big companies like Facebook or Snapchat to do some remote work is not going to be ideal, because those companies usually do not work with remote contractors. However, a company which has a revenue of let's say between $500,000 to $10 million, they can definitely be interested in hiring contractors, and they can also be great clients because they actually have the money, they have the cash flow, and a stable business, and they know what they're doing. So essentially, the chances of you pitching higher prices it's going to be much easier, the sales process. So as long as you can actually deliver the value and stand for what you said you were doing, because that's actually one of the most important things. And I'd say that at first, one of the things that you also have to consider is building trust, because the main problem with selling at first is building that trust. So you not only have to be good at what you do or great, but you really have to convey that authority and trust and essentially create a relationship with the person that you'd like to work with. So one of my biggest tips is to initially just message them and see if they're interested. And you can do this in a variety of ways. I use cold email outreach, but also Facebook messaging and LinkedIn messaging. It really depends on the scenario. All of these are just tools, they only work if you insist enough and you create custom messages, so you don't just like spam people like a lot of people are doing, just sending like email blasts. But anyways, the most important thing is to understand if they're interested in your services, and if they actually have a need now for your services. And once that is established, I would hop on a call with them as soon as I can. So I would send them over a Calendly link so that they can choose a time for us to have a call, or I can also suggest them alternatively sometimes and see what works best for them. But hopping on a sales call is something which is very, very important, and it's going to boost your conversion rate. So don't try to sell only via messaging, because it's just going to be much harder, and you're not going to have a feel for the client, and same vice versa. And during the sales call, it's also very important to understand what is your goal with that, because the goal with the sales call is essentially to pre-qualify the client. So you want to see if the client is a good fit for you, if the client is serious about working with you. And so essentially I see that call as a way to identify if that client can be a good fit for the long term, or even short term if it's a shorter project they're only interested in, and essentially go from there. So yeah guys, hope this video was helpful. Working remotely is definitely possible in 2019 and moving onwards, and it's been a huge game changer for me and my life. Just the amount of freedom it gave me is it's amazing, really, because I'm at a point now where I can work with whoever I want, whenever I want. and wherever I want. So this is definitely something which gives me a lot of freedom, and you too guys can do it. It's going to take some time at first. You're going to kind of learn this skill, but once you learn it, you really understand how much opportunity there is out there. How And especially once you learn the tools, you understand that you're never going to run out of work as long as you stick to the process and really make your best efforts to make it happen. It's always going to you're always going to find a new client or find new work, and yeah, just amazing. Internet is a great thing. So this is it for this video, guys. Hope it was helpful, and if you liked it, please leave a thumbs up, and feel free to leave a comment if you have any questions on this topic or UI UX design in general, and I'll see you in the next video.